This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Well, here we are tonight. Clint and BZ are going to tear through the gristle of today's screaming headlines and rip out the sinewy tendons of truth ensconced within, all from the hoary streets of Shat Room, California, spell it with a K, exposing the trembling toadies, the sniveling jackanapes, and the fripperous fop doodles, infesting altogether too much of this great nation of ours. Please feel free to partake of our Shat Room at shrmedia.com. Featuring the effervescent contrarian right there, Sackheads Clint, plus the unrestrained bubosity of the Zetmeister, doubling your late-night conservative talk show pleasure with double the hosts. Some contents may have settled during shipping. Member FDIC, batteries not included. Terra Cross, dotted line, Hejo in Mexico. Patent pending, warranty void in Montenegro. Tonight, Clint and BZ will talk about a veritable gaggle. No. A shrewdness, a murmuration, an obstinacy, a war and a pandemonium, a gaggle, a muster, a covey, an unkindness, a maelstrom, a knot, a kaleidoscope, a shiver, a murder, an intrusion, a smack, a hive, a prickle, yea, a veritable cauldron of topics. Yonder across from me is, in fact, Sackheads Clint, one each, and I'll be your server and obese, somnambulistic reprobate for tonight. Sorry, we don't take American Express or personal checks. Remember, this is only an exhibition, not a competition, so please...
No wagering.
No wagering. Thank you ever so kindly.
My pleasure.
This is a first for a while. Do you realize that since October, this is the second consecutive week that we've done a Sackhead show? So, frankly, I think that deserves... Oh, wait a minute. Here. I think 2 consecutive weeks deserves...
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Even
you.
from the back, you see the folks in the back row?
I did. Ma'am, put your shirt down, please.
Yeah.
I appreciate the sentiment, but we don't. No, I can't autograph those. Yeah. I apologize.
Keep that to New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't have beads to throw at you.
Because what's her partner going to say? Come on.
The partner's doing it too. Thank you.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
See, right out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really nice flannel shirt she has. I like that.
That's hair.
Oh, okay. A hair shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
Better than a hair diaper.
It is. It's fabulous. Have we got some stories for you? Because
nothing's happened.
Nothing has happened today.
Nope.
We're not going to talk about it. So all the news that you won't ever want to hear right here. Already thanks to Mike, thanks to the Alaskan for being in chat so very damned early. I really appreciate that. I kind of We left last week at a bit of a higher decibel level. We've both calmed down because we're reasonable human beings and we have discussions. But last week you hinted that you might have a Clint story? Or since last week and now, is there anything that could qualify as a Clint story? Let me do this.
Yeah, do that while I think of which. I don't know that I want or can tell.
Okay.
But let me pontificate while you.
Okay, so once again, for everyone, I want everybody to know that Clint grabs my good stuff, my Diet Pecky. So, continuous thanks to Clint for
My pleasure. And we have Christmas Cam.
Yes,
going on.
Do you folks see
in the background?
Do you see in the background what's happening? If that isn't festive,
I
don't know what is.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah, that is festive as fuck.
Yes,
we call that here FAF.
So if you hear us, or FAF,
if you hear us say tonight, it's FAF. Okay, I'm going to do that again so I can do I can do a screenshot and promo the show.
Sure, do it.
So let me wait. Let me see here. Let me get my.
Yeah, go ahead, do your screen. There you go.
Okay, now
ready?
Here's
go.
For the screenshot.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
but I had to leave it for a couple of seconds, or otherwise, I can't screenshot it because YouTube plays. Oh, that reminds me, folks. You can listen to the show. Go to shrmedia.com. Quick like bunny.
Yes.
shrmedia.com. And you can listen to the Shat Show. Get what it is? Sack Heads Against Tyranny.
Yep.
A real Shat Show.
A real Shat Show. Not
the fake
the
1999 Shat Show that lasted a week or two. I mean, it lasted even longer than Air America. Air America didn't last very long. So you can go to shrmedia.com and listen. What, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It didn't last very long. The one guy he became a senator off of that. I'm sure that just levitated him into the, what was it, Minnesota Congress? Minnesota.
All right, so I got a Clint story for you.
Oh, Alaskan says, I got Spreaker back. Of course you do.
Oh, very nice.
Because you never lost it.
Very good.
Because I started it. Oh, and also, the Shat Room is at shrmedia.com. And Facebook doesn't like us anymore, so I haven't started Facebook on video.
Nope, perfect. Fuck
and
Facebook.
I only do YouTube, the SHR Media channel on YouTube. And when I figure out how to put it back in here, because I had it installed under broadcast, when I figure out how to put Periscope back in there, then we'll be on 2 streaming services. I always kind of liked Periscope. We didn't get very many hits off of Periscope, but I think that's because we didn't push very many people over to Periscope. It's got a nice chat room.
We wouldn't push anybody.
No, we wouldn't
per
want
se.
to. Like when you come into chat right now, if you
can't
want
say it's not my TV. My screen's not up. Hang on, maybe I just need to do this.
I thought I turned it on. I thought I activated the TV.
No.
Damn me.
No,
I'm sorry. Did I turned on your laptop?
Oh. Okay.
Is it coming?
I have no idea. Okay. Maybe it's not hooked up.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Lights on.
Okay.
Fucking technology.
Yeah, damn.
PFM. It runs on PFM.
Yep.
And it must be all out.
Yep.
So I got a Clint story.
Okay, good.
So, there's the chat room. I think I appreciate this. I think it's funny. I don't know if our guests will think it's funny, but how to blow the mind of a fourth grade teacher.
Okay, all right.
So
I know this is going to be a good story because
so
it's probably
fourth grade teachers teaching math, and I still happen to have a fourth grader who loves math and is very good, but sometimes feels that the teacher's a little condescending in the way that math is instructed. What that means exactly, I don't know. But so my fourth grader is very good at math. Like, he will voluntarily sit down and go through. And this is also the kid who can go into the middle of a swimming pool and be like, Marco Polo time, and everybody wants to do what he does. It's just,
nice.
You ever wonder, like, man, are they just like, are people like that just born with it? Like, naturally charismatic, just naturally leaders? That's him. But he loves doing math. So he likes to get ahead. And I don't think his teacher sometimes necessarily likes that. Maybe she does. I don't know. But anyways, I taught
competition. He likes competition.
Oh, he does like competition. Weird.
Oh, that's
right?
bad. Oh,
weird.
In California schools, spell it with a K. That's bad.
It's okay. They're not in public schools.
Oh,
it's okay.
Yeah, okay. Wait. To that I reply.
Yeah. So I taught him a math formula, and I actually taught him what it meant. Now, I didn't teach him how to solve it, because you can't solve it unless you really kind of understand the variables or you have specific numbers.
You taught him a math formula. You taught him math.
I did. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
I taught him the United States Marine Corps wind formula. But then after that, I taught him...
Okay, this is how you get windage. Here's your elevation.
Here's your constants.
Here's your book.
Uh-huh.
I want you to keep score here.
Keep track of where your round hits. When you change ammunition, got to change books. Okay, so
how many grains is that, Billy?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I taught him the mathematical equation for escape velocity.
Escape velocity from
whatever the body is.
What's the velocity of a swallow? Laden or unladen?
What's the velocity of whatever? What velocity do you need to achieve in order to escape the gravity of X mass, right?
Oh.
For example,
like space, a space application.
Yeah, it's basically rocket science. Is what it is.
It is rocket science.
So you can imagine the teachers, and to hear him tell the story, it's absolutely hilarious. But to see him write down this equation, velocity, or VE equals the square root of 2 times gravity and mass, so whatever the gravity of an object is, whatever the mass of the object is, over the measurement, over lowercase r, the measurement of the center of that object to the surface of that object, will give you the escape velocity once you plug all those numbers in. And that's what you have to achieve in order to break gravity.
The surly bonds of Earth.
Yeah. So to have a fourth grader explain that to a teacher is fucking priceless.
There wasn't a video of that, was there?
I
just
wish
out
there
of
was.
curiosity?
I wish there was, but
been?
no, there wasn't. But he gets super giddy when he tells the story.
Wouldn't that have been cool? Wouldn't that have been kick butt?
And he loves just telling the story of the look on his teacher's face, which is pretty good.
Okay, ma'am. Here's what happens. Blah 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 blah. Oh, wait. Did he go up to the chalkboard and go?
Nope. He just had it written down. He had it written down, very cool, very smooth. And as she walks by and does a triple take on the paper, what is that? Well, let me tell you.
And you can see her going to her head.
Uh-huh.
What? This is a fourth grader. Come on. I barely knew my alphabet in fourth grade.
You barely know your alphabet now.
That's true. That's very true.
Which is why I love you.
When you were in grade school,
mm-hmm.
Boy, this is going to date me. When you were in grade school learning to print your letters,
okay,
did you have pieces of paper that were, I don't know, 1.5 feet wide and, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 inches high? And there were, on a huge, massive piece of paper like that, there were maybe, I don't know, 4 lines. And there was a line
with
clearly
the solid line, the dotted line in the middle,
line,
and then the solid line in the middle.
right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Yep.
So that you knew where capital letters
Yep.
deserve to be placed.
Yep. Top line to
And
bottom
then
line.
the midline, that was the limit, the vertical limit of your
letters.
lowercase
With
letters.
the exception of?
And?
With the exception of L, lowercase L.
Oh, okay.
Lowercase T.
Right. And lowercase j.
Nope. Lowercase j could go below the line with a dot above the line.
That's right. And don't forget lowercase b.
Oh, yes.
There's
and lowercase d.
Lowercase d.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I learned on that. And then you took your little baby elementary fingers in between words, at least we did, and the teacher said, okay, put 2 fingers now between the end of one word and where you begin the second word. And we're all given, little stubby pencils with almost no sharp point on them at all whatsoever. I don't know why did that just pop into my mind?
I don't know. But so here's the difference. Oh,
that's because we were talking about your kid is in elementary school. Private school? Charter school.
Here's the difference. The difference, BZ, is when you went to school, grades K through eighth were all in the same classroom, right? It was all just one classroom, one schoolhouse, as it were. And you had one school. I think it was called the schoolmaster.
Getting to school was difficult because you had to avoid the saber-toothed tigers along the way.
Right.
And then you had the etching material. You had the
chisel.
The chisel and the hammer
No,
for the
you had
chisel.
a rock, right? When you started. The hammers didn't come out until you were in high school.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate
welcome.
that. And you had to. The challenge was finding a nice rock. First, the challenge was avoiding the saber-toothed tiger. The second one was finding a nice slate on which to chip your initials away, or your words, etc.
So, fortunately, our children don't have to deal with that today.
Yeah, thank God.
Right? They get to deal with climate change.
That was
much more serious
God,
issue.
Yes,
much more serious issue. On a side note, did you read the Washington Post? Was it today? What's the date today? Today's the 18th.
18th.
So it was Monday, the 16th.
Okay.
Attorney General Barr actually wrote an opinion piece in it. Do you have it?
Let me find it.
Did you find it?
Keep chatting just for a second. I'll find it, by gum.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
So I thought it was interesting about it is Attorney General Barr.
Post or Times? Post?
New York Post. Oh, God, no, not the New York Times.
New York Post.
New York Post, okay. Yeah. And the article he wrote was about the rising disrespect for cops is not only wrong, but that it puts us in danger. It is a fantastic article, and it actually talks about specifics about the Houston officer that was shot and killed, and basically what this anti-law enforcement sentiment is doing, not just to not just for the ability for law enforcement to police the citizenry, but it actually talks about the 11% decrease in the number of officers per capita since all this bullshit started, as well as an extreme decline in applicants. And so it actually takes a hard look at it in terms of, hey, here is the societal impact on this attitude that the media and this anti-police sentiment that seems to be happening right now is. And it goes on to talk about, hey, assaults are up from 2014 to 2017 to about 60,000 per year. That's up 20% over a 3-year period. It's talking about it's a great article. If you have a chance to read it, it was December 16th on the New York Post. It was an opinion piece that William Barr wrote and submitted. Just chock full of good stuff. I didn't know if you saw it, but I wanted to reference it so that any of our listeners out there could hopefully just pull it up. Just use your favorite search engine, New York Post, and William Barr. I think the words I put in was like William Barr rising disrespect for cops or something like that. And it popped right up.
You're absolutely right. I got the article right here. It says, serving as a cop in America is harder than ever, and it comes down to respect. This is the very first paragraph. A deficit of respect for the men and women in blue who daily put their lives on the line for the rest of us is hurting recruitment and retention and placing communities at risk. Mm-hmm. See, and that's, you come out with your first paragraph, state the point of the article, boom, right there.
Yeah. And then the very next paragraph talks about the Arkansas officer who was just straight up ambushed and executed as he sat in the patrol vehicle. So good, great article. If you get a chance to read it, I highly recommend you read it. And it actually goes into talking about the job that law enforcement does today in terms of having to be a social worker, a counselor, all these things that cops really didn't have to deal with before. So the greater risks, the greater pressure, and everything else of this job they're expected to do, training standards and so forth, coupled with all the bullshit that they're going through from society as a whole and social justice prosecutors and all these things. I thought it was a fantastic piece. Wanted to share it with our listeners in case they have an opportunity to read it. I would highly recommend reading it. Just a good piece. And if you disagree with that, if you're somebody who dislikes cops, might give you a little bit different perspective on the issue. And hey, are there shithead cops out there? Yeah, of course there are. Right? There are knuckleheads in every single profession, but the percentage per capita within law enforcement is far lower than in other places. Most of the men and women there serve because they genuinely believe in the job they're doing and protecting the civil liberties of folks. You wouldn't know it by the narrative that's being pushed out there by the left and a lot of other folks over there, but that's the reality. I think we should just jump right in. Look,
here's another reality. The reality. I got to ask you this.
Sure.
Eric Holder would have written that, wouldn't he? And Loretta Lynch would have written that too.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't they?
Oh yeah. And Xavier Becerra. And the DA out of San Francisco. Oh yeah. Kamala Harris. Oh, she would have wrote that. She was a district attorney. Oh, right.
Big cop supporter.
Oh, huge. Wait,
what?
Did you say big?
Athletic supporter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of Brown.
Right. Yes. Cupped his
with her tonsils. I don't know if she has tonsils or not.
They may have been gone.
They may have been gone.
Folks, I want to let you know this is mere speculation by myself and Clint live on the Sackheads Against Tyranny. Right. We're not seeing it for sure. We don't know for sure.
No, we don't know for sure.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I didn't have a
camera. Were you in the bedroom?
There.
I wasn't.
No.
Nobody was creeping around behind the damn sofa.
We don't know. We don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I
wonder how. I honestly wonder how her husband feels with public knowledge of how she got her political start.
Is she married? I didn't.
Honestly, she is married.
Honestly, I have to tell you, I did not. I've never looked into her background to see. I don't know why. I just kind of expected she wasn't married, but I didn't know.
No, she's married. I wonder what her husband thinks of that. I don't know why I wonder that. I don't give a shit. It really has no.
It's like asking what does Hillary think?
Yeah, it's got no bearing on my life, and really, and I will admit this. Honestly, that is 100% between them as husband and wife.
Sure, it is.
I get it. I support that.
Yep.
That is 100% private between them. I literally, it's just where my brain goes. I sometimes just wonder myself, oh man, I wonder like how does that conversation go?
That's why this is freestyle radio.
Yeah.
We speak about whatever the hell we talk about, and it burbles out of our brain housing.
It does. So, but again, I want to be clear. Look, I'm not trying to jam the guy up or talk crap about her family because I don't know him, and that's their marriage. And regardless of how I feel about her as a politician and as an attorney general and a prosecuting attorney, I almost said that with a straight face. I'm not saying anything
You said
negative.
the P word.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything negative about her marriage or husband because I really don't know.
No, you don't
and
know.
I actually wish them the best in their private life.
Oh,
I
of
really
course
do.
I do. I do. Have you seen the new Hillary Clinton?
No.
I'll show it to you, then I'm going to show it to the to the folks.
Sure.
I'm wondering if Disney hasn't created an audio animatronic version of Hillary Clinton. Okay, now, that's the new Hillary Clinton.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, okay. Now, folks, remember what Clint said, his reaction. Oh, my God. Now, let's see. I got to wait for this to go down. How do I get the...
Yeah, that's good.
There we go. That's the new Hillary Clinton. So,
wow.
Don't you wonder what happened to the real Hillary Clinton? Because that ain't her. So where'd she go and what's she doing?
Who cares?
And then that brings up this. Now, there's a guy that comes on the show every once in a while, and he might be in chat.
Sean?
He's not here now.
Sean?
No, not Sean.
Oh.
Sean, not Sean. And he comes in, his name is Jack Alexander. He's the dude from Australia. He's been on the show for a while. Hey, welcome to Dave. Thanks for being in chat. 2 viewers who we are not going to unmask. Welcome. Thanks for being in chat. Jack Alexander has a theory. He thinks truly sometime in 2020 that after all this kerfuffle goes on with the rest of the Democrats, she is in fact going to jump in. Now, question, since we know somewhere between, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and now, something happened to her. All of a sudden, her bags are gone, and her cheeks look like some squirrel stuffed a whole bunch of nuts in her cheeks. I don't know whose, but some. Is she going to... Do you think, Clint, that sometime, unsaid, this year, late this year, maybe next year, that she's going to come out and state that she's running again?
She's so egotistical, that wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me.
He fervently believes that that's going to happen.
I could see that, but here I think she has a problem because I think that she could get wrapped up into some of this stuff that's being investigated by the Justice Department in terms of Russia dealings and everything else.
It's getting closer.
And yeah, so I hope I kind of hope she does. I think that'd be funny. But I don't know. I think after tonight, and I do want to talk about tonight because it's important. It literally just happened about an hour or so before we came on the air that the House voted to impeach.
Right. Before we get there, I have a story. I know we are definitely going to do impeachment. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. I found a story that, in my opinion, it'll take 5 minutes to the bottom of the hour, and then we can roll right into impeachment because I got a great audio cut about that. And I got the numbers and all that stuff. The same thing you would expect of us being on top of everything. But there is, I believe, a story that is even more... It's starting in the UK, and I'm wondering if it's going to cross the pond and become like a bad endemic plague all around here in the United States of America. Here's the... This is via Market Watch, via the New York Post, via the Daily Mail in the UK. Fiendish tilted toilet meant to cut down on length of workers' bathroom breaks. Now, I'm not making this up. There's a toilet designed by the Standard Company in the UK that it's aimed at employers to cut down on the bathroom breaks of employees. A startup company in the UK developed a new downward tilting toilet meant to make employees so uncomfortable in the bathroom they take care of business quicker. The standard toilet is sloped about 13 degrees forward to increase strain on the legs, making it painful to sit on it for longer than 5 minutes. This guy, Mr. Gill, founder of the company, he told Wired in an article published a couple of days ago, anything higher than that would cause wider problems. So first he acknowledges there's a problem with this toilet. 13 degrees is not too inconvenient, but you'd want to get off the seat quite quickly. And then they have a diagram of this thing. The porcelain throne isn't meant to be a torture device, Gill said, claiming health benefits. Now he's saying it's a health benefit, like improved posture. But the primary purpose of this for the employer, he says, is to promote brief relief, cutting down the time workers spend on their phones and reducing monetary losses. The main benefit, and he admits this, the main benefit is to its employers, not the employees. It saves the employer money. The company is in talks to distribute its product to train stations, bars, shopping malls, and offices, Gill said. Do you see any problems with that?
Yeah,
I do. I see some massive problems.
I see some problems with it.
Especially in any kind of a society that happens to be litigious.
Uh-huh.
And if you have a verifiable reason for serial returning to the potty for whatever reason.
Yep.
Health
you're
related.
Not
Not feeling good one particular day.
Yep. Or you just have a medical condition where you have to go several times or for an extended period of time or whatever it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's create your discomfort for the employee.
Or you're elderly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. What kind of
you have people over 60 working in jobs.
Oh yeah, and they're going to be what are you going to do with their needs? Or an employee has a knee replacement surgery.
Right.
Or a hip replacement surgery or back
ankle,
issues. Or back issues.
Any number of issues.
I think this company, I think it's stupid. I understand the need to not have employees on their cell phones doing whatever in the bathroom for 20 minutes at a time.
Dave brings up an interesting point in chat.
Right?
In chat, Dave says people are going to sue employers because they phony up medical issues caused by the toilets. Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be bidirectional.
Work comp.
Because I think there may in fact be some people who are just pissed off because of that and may file phony work comp cases. And then simultaneously there may be a number of people who really, it's admitted, they've admitted right here, it's there to create discomfort.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think the company's setting themselves up for failure, in particularly if they start selling that. If they start selling that here in the United States,
and for all the reasons that you just delineated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wacky.
ADA.
Oh, I forgot about it. We haven't even gotten to the ADA yet.
Yeah.
So, question for Americans. I don't know if the UK has the equivalent of the ADA.
I have no idea.
Question for Americans, employers: do you like this toilet? And if you do, are you going to put it? Are you going to put it in the disabled stall?
Are we going to put which everybody uses anyways?
Oh yeah, because it's roomy as
right.
hell.
Yes, I love that thing.
I
do too. Are we going to put that in SHR Studios? No, absolutely not.
On the other hand, what does that mean when we have people lining up outside the studio? Like, hello? Can we come in and use your toilet? It's not slanted. No. Go away. Give me your toilet face.
We're up against a break.
We are. All right. We're going to go away for a little bit.
When we come back, we're jumping right into impeachment.
We are.
There's a lot to unpack in this impeachment.
Oh, my gosh. Is there between now and then? Holy moly. Come right back, please.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
For 50 years, I've seen the American people blinded by corrupt politicians, a lapdog media, and deceptive Islam. The one thing the elites fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through Spreaker, iTunes, and SoundCloud, through SHR Media and the Western Free Radio Network, for half a century of experienced perspective on political and social issues, weekly on The Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender, ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny on shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday, live and direct on the SHR Media Network, shrmedia.com. Be there.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. We are the Sackheads Against Tyranny. It's a real Shat show. I happen to be BZ. Over yonder is Sackheads CLINT. We're having a great time tonight. We are glad you are here. Thanks to being in chat to Mike Dave, the Alaskan One viewer. Appreciate it. And let's talk impeachment now, as you said you wanted to do. So basically, what it had there were 2 articles of impeachment. One is contempt of Congress,
abuse of power,
and contempt of Congress,
obstruction of Congress. I
I
want to talk about what that means. So, abuse of power. He was the first article that he was impeached on. Is abuse of power, and I guess they're trying. It wasn't for a quid pro quo. It wasn't for bribery. It was for abuse of power.
Oh yeah, it's like, where's the bribery? Where's the quid pro quo? Where's Putin's poodle?
Where did he abuse his power?
Where's the misogyny? Where's the racism? Where's the beef? Everything, all the things of which Democrats have accused him. We go back into, like, the Mueller report, crimes of process that wasn't brought up originally.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. These aren't even
these are not strictly delineated,
and they're not crimes.
High crimes, misdemeanors.
Yeah, and misdemeanors, even in terms of the Constitution, is not what we think of a misdemeanor today. But the both of them are ridiculous. But obstruction of Congress. Let me ask you a question, BZ.
All right.
You asked me questions first, so it's my turn to ask you a question.
All right.
The executive branch is a co-equal branch of government. True or false?
Oh boy! Now see, there you go, making
terrible
assumptions.
True or false? The executive branch is a co-equal, separate but co-equal branch of government in the American American government.
You're going to drag this out of me, but
I am.
Okay.
It's true. So how can a separate but co-equal branch of government obstruct another separate but co-equal branch of government? Executive privilege has been...
I know.
Executive privilege has been affirmed. It's established in law. It's so if the executive branch exercises their lawful authority as a separate but equal branch of government, they don't answer to Congress. The executive doesn't answer to Congress. So if the president said, you know what, Adam Schiff, I want your committee to submit to me reports on how you got the phone records from my people and from other Republican representatives.
I know what he's saying.
Could he be charged? Could Adam Schiff be charged with obstruction of the executive? Obstruction of the presidency?
No.
So how can the president be charged with obstruction of Congress?
God, you're catching me in a logic loop. Would you just stop that? God, what is wrong with you?
There's no such thing as obstruction of Congress for the president of the United States.
I'm giving you my logic face.
Okay, go.
Oh, logic face?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the same as your dog. As your.
That's not the same as my war face?
That's the same as your war face, and it's the same as your bathroom face that you gave before the break.
All right, you found me out. Good Lord. I wondered what that noise was just outside the door. And then I saw that little...
Sean. It was Sean.
Little Sean?
It was little Sean. So I guess can you define obstruction of Congress as it relates to the President of the United States?
Are you trying to say that doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist. You cannot logically have that.
No. It's political. This is all political.
Of course it is.
It's. Don't you get it?
Yes, I do.
It's theater. It's theater of the absurd. It's kabuki theater, all wrapped up in one.
It is, but just entertain me here for a second. Entertain this. Can you come up with a straight-faced argument for how the President of the United States, a separate but co-equal branch of government, can obstruct Congress? Because if that is true, if the President of the United States, if the executive branch can obstruct the Congress, right, the legislative branch, then would it not be true that Congress can obstruct the president, or the Supreme Court, the legislative branch, or the judicial branch could also obstruct? So why doesn't Congress impeach the federal judge if a subpoena was blocked for obstruction of Congress? Why can't the courts go after Congress for obstruction of the judiciary?
That's cool. You've latched onto a great idea.
So what if the Ninth Circuit rules against a rule or an executive order that the president puts into place? Can the executive branch, can DOJ
obstruction
now go after the Ninth Circuit justices that ruled against that executive order for obstruction of the executive?
I say obstruction, comma, damn it. See, that's why you're sackheads, Clint. That is a brilliant thesis. Because why not? It's like an if. You're making the if-then equation.
Yes.
if that's obstruction, what the executive did to the legislative, then the reverse must be true, because we already know they are, as you indicate, they are co-equal branches of government.
Yes.
So what is good for one theoretically should apply to all three.
Yes.
In an equal fashion.
Yes.
Should it not?
It should. And if the Ninth Circuit or any circuit rules against an executive order that controls, say, I don't know, immigration, which falls under the purview of the executive, then how can the executive or DOJ not go after the judicial branch for obstruction of the executive?
Obstruction.
You're obstructing the executive branch's job of protecting our borders through your rulings. Congress, you are obstructing the president, the executive, in their job by failing to authorize funding for name the project.
Well, the judiciary then should be able to go against Congress
for obstruction.
Obstruction
of the judiciary.
If they don't stand in complete lockstep, whatever the ruling is.
Yes. So if a court makes a ruling and then Congress makes a law to undo that ruling, that's obstruction of the judiciary.
Don't they make laws? The legislative?
Yes.
Okay, but if they make a law, though, they should be considered by the courts if the courts don't like it, or better yet, by the executive if the executive doesn't like it, right?
Yes. So
obstruction.
Every time a president vetoes legislation,
well, guess what that is?
It's obstruction of Congress.
And you know what?
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Better yet.
Where's the bell?
Oh.
Where's the fucking bell on that one, BZ?
Wait.
God damn it.
Wait. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. A veto, by definition, would be obstruction of Congress.
And if you're really smart, you'd put in a grandfather clause.
Wait, I got it better.
What? Better than a grandfather clause?
If a veto is then overridden by Congress, you've also obstructed the executive.
Give me that bell. Yes.
Right? If Oprah would be like, obstruction for you, and obstruction for you, and obstruction for you. That is the...
Here's the funny thing.
Yeah. This is the funny thing.
Oh, that's good. You're saying you have something better?
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got better shit. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, though.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're the only one that's thought of this yet? That none of the other blockheads in D.C. have thought, well, wait, if he obstructed, then can't we say that the obstruction is the reverse? Can't we say that too?
So I have not heard anybody. This doesn't mean they haven't. I have not heard anybody talk about the reverse of obstruction being true as it pertains to other branches. I have heard one other person talk about how the president can't obstruct Congress. I have heard Mark Levine talk about how the president cannot obstruct Congress. So that's not, I did have that thought. I did have that thought independently. I'm not taking anything away from SHR or anything, but I'm not going to, I can't take credit as having that sole idea. I guarantee, I'm sure other people throughout this country in major numbers have had that same thought, but I have heard Mark Levine make that point as well. And I don't want to be accused of stealing anybody's ideas or anything like that, because that's certainly not the case. It is an independent thought that I had, but I have heard him make the case. But I haven't heard, and maybe he did, maybe other people have, I have not heard anybody talk about it in the reverse, the way we just had that discussion about everybody can obstruct everybody.
It shouldn't just be a one-to-one reverse.
Right.
It should be the entire triangle.
Absolutely.
It should be all three components.
Guess what?
Involved.
Their fucking job is to obstruct each other. It's not supposed
how
to
it
be
was created.
Yes, it's supposed to do that.
Wait.
So basically what I just said is by Congress, impeaching the president for obstruction. They basically just said he's doing his job.
Yeah. And about that time, it should be something similar to, yeah, you're doing your job. Right?
So you have the vote count in terms of how the vote broke down.
Yeah, I do. It's like you said, though. Where's the bribery? Where's the quid pro quo?
I haven't even gotten to the best part yet.
Where's any of that?
I haven't even gotten to the best part yet.
Okay, let's get down to the basics of what happened. Trump today was, in fact, impeached by the House.
Third president in history.
For those two counts that you indicated. The first was abuse of power. The second was obstruction of Congress. So that sets the stage for what's going to happen in the Senate.
But does it?
Well, now I'm reading from the news.
But does
it? So let's set a foundation.
Okay.
That the news believes at this point.
Okay.
And now they're indicating that in terms of a time frame, this could begin sometime in early January. Well, the numbers are this. As I wrote in social media, what literally happened was it went through party lines. The good point, you could say, is that all the Republicans in the House voted against impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
All the Democrats voted for impeachment, with the exception of 3. And another one. I'll let you cover that one because that's very important. I think that's part of the point that you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the Democrats rolled completely on both counts. A third,
meaning they said no.
They
called bullshit.
Went no impeachment, and they walked over to the Republican side of the aisle on impeachment.
Now, did I forget the name? Did he actually formally switch over to the Republican Party yet?
That guy named Drew?
Yeah.
I do not know.
Because they were in talks.
He talked to Trump about that.
Okay.
Whether he did it, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. So let me see if I can find the numbers here. Okay, the first vote was 230 to 197 to impeach Trump for abuse of power, and was almost on party lines with 2 exceptions. Then it was followed by the second vote.
3 exceptions.
That the president obstructed Congress. That was 229 to 198. One Democrat did.
So Tulsi Gabbard. Does that name sound familiar? It should, because she is running for president on the Democratic ticket.
Yeah.
She's from Hawaii. She's very anti-gun. However, she is a major in the Hawaii National Guard. I happen to like her. I wouldn't vote for her because of her gun policies, because of some of her other policies. I do believe her to be more reasonable, and she seems to be more moderate, particularly coming from Hawaii.
Oh, and is responsible for Kamala Harris not being here anymore.
And is responsible for Kamala Harris not being here. Look, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying I'd vote for her, but it depends who the Republicans ran, because she is horrible on 2A issues, and that right there would probably be enough for me to not vote for her. But in terms of taking a step back and making a reasonable assessment of her as a candidate, I believe that she is principled, although I disagree with her view on some things, obviously. I do believe she's principled, and she is a major, I think is her rank, in the Hawaii National Guard. So she is a military service member. She does serve. And she seems to take a measured approach to a lot of things. I also understand that she represents Hawaii, which her district is very anti-gun.
Yeah,
I understand that. But she voted present. And in her statement, she said she read the 600-some-odd page report, and she didn't believe that she could give a yes vote or a no vote. The reason that's interesting to me is because, number one, she is from a liberal district. She is from the state of Hawaii, which happens to be pretty liberal. It's in the Ninth Circuit. On a lot of different things, and she actually talked about voting her conscience. I don't think she voted no because she doesn't want to piss her party off, and she needs her party's nomination if she's going to push forward in the presidential race. But I think that in good conscience, she could not vote yes. The reason that that's important, and here's the take I got. I believe that Tulsi Gabbard knows that she is not going to get the Democratic nomination for 2020.
Agreed.
I believe that Tulsi Gabbard knows or suspects that President Donald J. Trump is going to get reelected in 2020.
Agreed.
I think that Tulsi Gabbard knows that a ultra-liberal Democrat cannot get elected president of the United States. I believe she is setting herself up right now as a moderate to be able to pull those Trump votes because she knows the economy is going to continue to excel. The nation's going to continue moving forward under Donald Trump. I think she's a realist. She's in the military. She understands where we are on the world stage. I think she understands where we are on defense. And I believe that she is setting herself up for a 2024 run with an eye to pull states that Trump has pulled, such as Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, these other states that maybe are up in the air, maybe even Florida, setting herself up for a big electoral win in 2024 when she comes out as a moderate and not some whack job liberal who took part of the Trump impeachment process, because she took a reasonable, measured approach and bucked her party. I guarantee that's going to be the narrative. And that's my take. And that's why I'm so interested in what she did.
I could say in response that's almost Machiavellian, but not really if you're thinking ahead. I mean,
yeah, I don't
all
think
you're
it's
doing is
Machiavellian.
all you're doing is thinking ahead 5 years.
Yeah.
However, as you indicate, if she's that smart, what she'll be doing between now and then is creating ready-made video snippets and audio cuts to be played later, indicating, look, we were crushed in 2020. Here's why.
Yeah.
And I should point out, my stance on all of this throughout the past 5 years has been, here's this cut, here's this cut, here's this cut. I'm the person that's the real rational individual, and I'm here to kick the butt of whoever comes after Trump.
Yeah. And you know what? I think she can do it. I don't know who the Republicans will put up after Trump, but I think if Tulsi Gabbard continues down this path, if this is really what she's doing, and I don't think it's Machiavellian, because I really believe that she took a measured look at this. Machiavellian maybe in the sense of she didn't vote no because she needs that party loyalty-ish. Right?
Ish.
Because she does need that for the so maybe, okay, I'll play the game a little bit here. I won't vote no. I'll vote present just to have my vote recorded. But I'm not going to vote for this because I really can't see myself doing this. I took an oath as a member of Congress. I took an oath as a member of the military. I can't do this. And I really believe she's thinking ahead to 2024. That's why I think her vote is so important. And I don't think her vote is really being given the attention that it should be given.
Here's an interesting point. Don't know if this is true. Alaskan might know more than I, but in chat he wrote, she's not running for re-election to the House. I don't know. I don't know either. There are no term limits, so I am unaware of any statements she's made saying I'm not running for the House. If not, then what's she going to be doing? Because she's going to have to be doing something important to keep in the public's eye between now and 2024.
So does she go? So we know President Trump's penchant to hire from the Apprentice days and so forth, people that maybe he doesn't necessarily agree with, right? In some areas, does he bring her in?
Are you talking cabinet position now?
I don't know. Ambassadorship, maybe.
But if she truly has her eye on 2024, she can't stand to be out of the public eye. She must somehow be in the public eye for the next 5 years.
An ambassadorship would do that.
It could if it were in a unique
or governor of
place.
Hawaii. Or there are other things she could do.
That's very interesting.
Right?
I don't know about the governorship and when. I don't know the name of the governor in Hawaii. I'm sure he or she is a leftist.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
big time. Big time. Hawaii is they're not quite as crazy as California, but it's all Democrat. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Will she run as governor? As kind of a centrist, but look at my credited Democrat history here.
Yeah. Oh,
you can see that I do have a history of being someone on the left.
Correct. Of a lot of issues. Social issues, gun issues.
And she's certainly in keeping with the mindset of Hawaii in terms of the Second Amendment, as you've pointed out.
Mm-hmm. So that's my read on that. Now, I know I want to get into something else. So I think that is probably, so far, I think that is the most underreported and under-discussed aspect of the vote tonight. Granted, this is new. It just came out. Maybe people will be talking about this tomorrow because I'm sure a lot of folks listen to our show. I think we're in a really good position because for the first time, we are getting to have our opinion before a lot of major news opinion folks are going to be coming on the air.
Let me throw this out real quick before...
Before all the talk shows come out tomorrow... BZ, we're already talking about it tonight.
We've got it. We've got it locked in. Well, this is why people listen to us. Let me throw this out to you then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the article that I have is from NBC, and they're not center-right at all. They're
left.
They're left of center,
left of center,
and then further left.
Correct.
So if they write in this article that I used as a basic reference for the impeachment, they write... One Democrat representative, Tulsi Gabbard, now they name her here, of Hawaii, who is running for president, voted present on both articles. Is that an attempt by the mainstream media, what I call the American media maggots, to out her, to minimize her ability to be elected? In other words, is that a shot across the bow by the media at Tulsi Gabbard?
I don't think so, because that could do nothing but help her.
Not
maybe not in their minds.
Not in the debates. I don't see that.
She's not going for 2020. I mean, she is. I think she's setting herself up for 2024. That's how I see this. Maybe she thinks that maybe she can get some momentum from independents now in the 2020 race. Maybe she's thinking she can have that bump. But I really believe she's setting herself up for 2024. We're up against a break.
Yep.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I have another part of this story that we absolutely have to address.
And I have some interesting audio cuts and some linked stories as well.
So I want to get to this. If you're okay with it, I want to get to this first because it really dovetails into what we've been talking about.
So when we come back, Clint has got something for us.
I've got something for you.
We're going to continue on with impeachment talk, and then we've got some stories that are aligned with this.
And let me just say, with what we're going to discuss, stand by, folks, because it ain't over.
Belt your seatbelts? Is that what you're trying to say?
Buckle your seatbelts. Buckle up.
Finally, I noticed lower in this article, it does name names again. The person you pointed out. 2 Democrats representatives, Jeff Van Drew, who said he was considering going over to the GOP of New Jersey, and Colin Peterson of Minnesota voted with Republicans against both articles of impeachment, while another Democrat, Representative Jared Golden of Maine, voted yes on abuse of power and no on obstruction. No Republicans voted against Trump.
And that should tell you something. Michigan and Maine.
But
those areas are going to Trump in 2020.
We've got more to say when we come back. You're listening to A Real Chat Show, the Sack Ads Against Heresy.
Heresy?
Heresy.
The
Sack Ads Against... We are against tiramisu.
We are
the Sack
hell
Ads...
we are against
we?
tiramisu. Absolutely not. Tiramisu is delicious.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll be back.
And good for you.
Yeah. Probably.
Conservative media.
Like cake.
Done right.
Ooh, I like it.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
For 50 years, I've seen the American people blinded by corrupt politicians, a lapdog media, and deceptive Islam. The one thing the elites fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through Spreaker, iTunes, and SoundCloud, through SHR Media and the Western Free Radio Network, for half a century of experienced perspective on political and social issues, weekly on The Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender, ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Shannon Wright of The Right Way with Shannon and Mike in the AM. Mike's not here, so I gotta talk fast. You gotta join us. Fall season. Getting ready to start up with a whole bunch of new stuff. News and food and politics and sports and entertainment and a whole bunch of stuff. But wait, Mike's coming. I gotta go. Remember, Shannon and Mike in the AM on SHR Media, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. Make sure you tune in.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad.
Join me, Jack Alexander, for the Jack Alexander Experiment podcast, as I take a unique outsider's look at the issues affecting the USA. I fearlessly take on the issues that everyone else is too scared to touch. The Jack Alexander Experiment podcast is available wherever good podcasts can be found, like Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. The Jack Alexander Experiment, because it's not a matter of left versus right, it's a matter of right versus wrong.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Featuring the effervescent Contrarian Sackheads CLINT plus the unrestrained bulbosity of BZ, the Sackheads Against Tyranny is a real Shat show. Doubling your late-night conservative talk show pleasure with double the hosts, you can listen every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Please note, some contents may have settled during shipping. Member FDIC, batteries not included, warranty void in Montenegro.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the second hour of the Shat Show, the Sackheads Against Tyranny. I am Sackhead BZ. That is Sackheads CLINT. Right there.
Hello.
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 And we are back for the second hour. Sackheads CLINT said before we went on the break that he's got some very interesting things to say. Now, during the break, he didn't let me know what that is. Now, I told him also that I have some interesting things and some interesting articles to butt up against that.
And you did not tell me what that is.
And I didn't tell you what they are. So,
it's like
with
spy,
no further ado...
Spy versus Spy.
It is kind of like that.
That was a great
I used to love that. That was in Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine, yep. With Alfred E. Newman.
Sergio Aragones was the artist. Why do Why do I remember that stuff?
I don't know. Wouldn't it be awesome to have
How
an
does
original
that stuff
Spy
stick in
versus
my head?
Spy, like autographed by him?
Oh, that'd be just cool.
I want to. What was the final tally? If anybody in the chat room knows, what was the final tally of wins for the black spy versus the white spy?
Oh, damn. I was not cognizant of the fact there was even a tally.
There has to be, right? He has to.
Mad Magazine went away. They
did.
They expired.
But somebody has to know that. Okay, we had X number of cartoons, and in this many the black spy won, and this many the white spy won. Right? I'm curious. Oh, look at that. You're Googling it. So, let me ask you a question, BZ. The House of Representatives have impeached President Donald J. Trump. The next step is it goes to the Senate, correct?
Right. And information indicates that's going to be in January sometime.
What happens if the House of Representatives does not send it over to the Senate?
Okay, I wasn't even cognizant that could be a thing.
So, within minutes of impeaching President Clinton, which, by the way, was bipartisan, had votes of folks from both parties, they sent it over to the Senate almost immediately. Well, Nancy Pelosi said not too long ago, as in within the hour, I believe, that the House is not going to send the articles of impeachment over to the Senate.
Wait.
I wasn't done yet, but go ahead.
All right. Back up that car wash.
Uh-huh.
Tell me again what you just said.
I said Speaker Nancy Pelosi came out late tonight after the vote and said that the House is not going to send articles of impeachment over to the Senate right now. She said, quote, "We'll make a decision as we go along," is what she told reporters. "We'll see what the process will be on the Senate side. We have acted. Now they'll understand what their responsibilities are, and we'll see what that is." So what she's saying essentially is, we've impeached. We don't know when we're going to send it over because the Senate can't act, I'm guessing, before they send it over. But she's not going to send it over until she gets assurances for how the trial's going to be conducted.
That's the first thing I thought when you said that is a massive hedging of the bet. So essentially what she said is, I'm not playing in the sandbox until I know I have a guaranteed win. If I don't have a win, then I'm not sending it over. So first thing that came to my mind, and what are your thoughts, Sackheads Clint? First thing that I thought is, oh, that pissed off a lot of Democrat representatives. Didn't that initially? Now, I know she wasn't much for the impeachment, but she's a politician, so she had to go along because there was no other way. If she wanted to keep her job, she wasn't going to say no. But now what are the rest of the representatives in the Democrat Party thinking of her making that decision?
I don't think she's hedging her bets in that way. I think she's trying to get her way in the Senate also. I think the House is really flexing its muscles. Number one, against the President of the United States with that whole obstruction bullshit.
Yeah.
So now she's trying to flex up against the Senate. They've impeached the president. Their job is done.
Well, about this time, theoretically, you'd be thinking that they're going here.
But they're not. And this is what I wanted to talk about. They're not. What they're doing is they say, our job's done. We've impeached the president, but our job's not done. We're flexing our muscle and exercising authority over the executive branch, which is a co-equal branch of government. But now we're going to flex our muscles, and we're not going to let you do your job, Senate, unless you do it our way, just like we held the president accountable. We're going to hold you accountable, Senate.
So the House
We're not
is
the
saying,
lower chamber.
The House, yeah. So the House is saying, okay, we did our job. Now we're going to do your job for you also.
I think so. Or we're going to tell you how to do your job before we allow you to do your job. We're going to give you the rules for how you have to do your job. Otherwise, we're just going to hold on to it.
You want to hear an interesting article that I didn't tell you about, and I really want what you think about this. I was kind of holding this.
Let me ask you. I want to ask you a question real quick, though.
Okay, all right.
If Nancy Pelosi and the House of Representatives hold on to the articles of impeachment and fail to send them over to the Senate in a timely manner, is that going to help or hurt the Democrats?
Okay, my first thought is there a time frame? Do we know anything about a time frame where after this date, unless you've submitted to the Senate, then we're not going to consider them?
Nope.
Okay, so that was my first question. My second is, my second thought is, this ain't going to play well in the Senate. But the big question is, we know she's a politician. Does she know or think something that we don't know or think of?
Maybe, because do you remember in March, I believe it was March, Nancy Pelosi talked about and saying impeachment had to be bipartisan. Do you remember her saying that?
Right.
This wasn't.
No, not by any means.
Well, the no vote was bipartisan, if you really want to split hairs, right? Because you had 4, essentially, that didn't vote for it. Democrats, 2 no on both counts, 1 no on one count, and 1 present, right, on both counts. So Democrats and Republicans voted against the articles of impeachment, but just Democrats voted to impeach. So the only bipartisan aspect of this whole thing is when these few Democrats joined the Republicans. So what happens if they don't send it? Do the Democrats look like fools? Does it hurt them? Or does it help them? Do they then hold on to it and say, we impeached the president, but we didn't send it over to the Senate because we didn't want to hurt the country, and there's an election coming up? Do they hold it for a year?
Okay, I think I see what you're saying.
Do they
okay, then the bigger question then is this. How long do they hold it and drop it in November? Do they drop it in October? Or do they wait until after November 3rd? What do you think?
Or do they drop it on November 1st? Does it help or hurt them to hold on to it?
When you're talking about that close, that looks like that's too obvious. That's too obvious, I think, and an uppercut. It's political, yeah. It's a political pride. That's too political. Mm-hmm. To drop the anvil on someone's toes 2 days before the election. But then there's this. Mitch McConnell came out and said, and I think, let's see, do I have any video of this? Yeah, I do. Basically, Mitch came out and said, okay, if we're going to get silly about all this, maybe because I'm in charge of the Senate, I'm the majority leader, should we go back to the 1999 rules, which also includes an option for dismissal?
Mm-hmm.
The times of bipartisanship are done, but Mitch, let's see if I have this. Let's see if I can get Mitch to talk to us right now.
Well, Mr. President, all eyes today are on the House of Representatives. The country is waiting to see whether these House Democrats will give in to the temptation that every other House in modern history has managed to resist and misuse the solemn process of impeachment to blow off partisan steam. I'll have more to say on this subject if House Democrats do in fact proceed. But yesterday I came to the floor to discuss one initial aspect of this that concerns our Senate process. Over the weekend, my colleague, the Democratic leader, began asking the Senate to break from precedent, break with the unanimous template from 1999, and begin choreographing the middle of a potential trial before we've even heard opening arguments. Back in 1999, all 100 senators agreed on a simple pretrial resolution that set up a briefing,
here it comes,
opening arguments, senators' questions, and a vote on a motion to dismiss. Senators reserved all other questions, such as witnesses, until the trial was underway. That was a unanimous bipartisan precedent from 1999. Put first things first, lay the bipartisan groundwork, and leave mid-trial questions to the middle of the trial. I've hoped, and still hope, that the Democratic leader and I can sit down and reproduce that unanimous bipartisan agreement this time. His decision to try to angrily negotiate through the press is unfortunate. But no amount of bluster will change the simple fact that we already have a unanimous bipartisan precedent. If 100 senators thought this approach was good enough for President Clinton, it ought to be good enough for President Trump. I hope House Democrats see reason and pull back from the precipice. But if they proceed, I hope the Democratic leader and I can sit down soon and honor the template that was unanimously agreed to the last time. Well, Mr. President, all eyes today.
So, question. Is that a threat?
No. I think he's putting the country on notice, and I think he's putting the Democrats on notice in the sense of he's telling the world, he's telling America, look, this. How many times did he say the word unanimous?
A bunch.
How many times did he say bipartisan, unanimous?
A bunch.
He was telling the world 100 senators voted for this in the impeachment process of Bill Clinton, who was ultimately not convicted. 100. It was unanimous. So why change the rules now? And Chucky baby, weren't you there in 99? Weren't you one of the senators to vote for that bipartisan resolution that was unanimous? What's changed?
I know. Politics.
Did you see what the picture President Trump tweeted out?
No. Oh, that's true. I have shipped that out in social media.
Yeah, President Trump just tweeted this out.
Yeah, let me put it up to the camera. There you go.
You can't really see it that well.
It'll focus. Give it a second. It'll focus. There we go. In reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way.
And that's true.
You got about 13 seconds, about 40 seconds for Doug Collins?
Yes.
Okay, here's an interesting little audio cut from Doug Collins today.
Madam Speaker, I was just amazed by what the chairman just said. If it was obviously that he violated the bribery statute clearly, then why didn't we add it as an article of impeachment? The reason why? It didn't. With that, I yield a minute and a half to the gentleman from Mississippi, Mr. Guest.
Facts and evidence. Obvious. Hello, Captain Obvious. But there's a consequence. There are already consequences coming from because of that. Hey, thank you, Democrats. Trump's approval rating has just jumped 6 points.
Yep.
It's a Gallup poll that was released today.
And he's in Michigan right now.
By the way, on another rally.
In Michigan.
He has an approval rating of 45%. And let's see, okay. Putting that in perspective, A Gallup poll was taken December 5th through the 11th in 2011 that gave Obama a 43% approval rating. Trump's at 45%, more than Obama. But you're not hearing that either. Imagine that. What a shock. Now this is linked up. Do you want to go to Paul?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have that story up, or should I just sort of
go ahead.
Introduce it?
The story I have up is that the ACLU is calling for tampons in men's restrooms in order to achieve menstrual equity. But that's not what you want to discuss right now.
Okay. Well, we could. You've just done that. You just mentioned it.
You asked what I had up. If I said, nope, this is what I have up.
Here we go.
That's what I have up. But that's ridiculous, and that speaks for itself. So go ahead.
Well, Paul Manafort is going to spend the rest of his life in jail, or is he? Now there's a story that says his state fraud charges were dismissed by a New York judge who cited double jeopardy. So a New York judge dismissed a state mortgage fraud indictment against Paul Manafort. He's 70 years old. He was sentenced in a pair of federal cases earlier this year as a result of Mueller's process investigation. So a judge named Maxwell Wiley ruled that state law precludes prosecution because the criminal case was too similar to that which landed Manafort in federal prison, writing the factual overlap between the state and federal cases is extensive, if not total. And, of course, Cy Vance, massive leftist that he is in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, said, I'm going to appeal the decision. So it's not all shame, doom, and gloom, except for the mantra has been for quite some time and continues to be proven that the exact same stuff of which leftists and Democrats and the American media maggots are accusing Trump, they themselves are doing. Then the article came out. We were discussing this before the show. This article just came out. FISA court slams FBI over surveillance applications in a rare public order.
So this was a case that we send cases back and forth, or send cases. We send stuff back and forth. And this was one that was sent. I don't remember if you sent it to me, I sent it to you, but the tagline when it was sent was, wow.
Yeah. Because
this is a big fucking
This
deal.
is unheard of.
Yes,
you
it is.
don't. Number one, the FISA court doesn't want you to have anything. They don't want to be
We're not here.
Yeah, they're not in Front Street. They don't want to be on Front Street at all for any reason.
Yep.
And I said for quite some time, if you were a FISA court judge, Clint, wouldn't you be pissed as hell that... and I'm sure other judges have to be laughing at you saying, you signed off on that stupid crap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now here's the story. In a rare public order yesterday, the chief judge of the FISA court, FISA stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, strongly criticized the FBI, and I got another beautiful story after the break regarding this, strongly criticized the FBI over its surveillance application process, giving the Bureau until January 10th to come up with solutions. In the wake of findings from Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz, the order from the court's presiding judge, Rosemary Collier, came just a week after the release of Horowitz's withering report about the wiretapping of Carter Page, a former campaign advisor to President Trump. She wrote a 4-page order. It says, this is part of the quotation from that 4 pages. The FBI's handling of the Carter Page applications, as portrayed in the Office of Inspector General's report, was antithetical to the heightened duty of candor.
Basically,
translation, lying, described above. The frequency with which representations made by FBI personnel turned out to be unsupported, hello Yahoo News story, or contradicted by information in their possession and with which they withheld information detrimental to their case, calls into question whether information contained in other FBI applications is reliable. First thing comes to my mind is, hello, can you say fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine? That judge as much admitted it. Now,
oh yeah,
do this to a state court. Let's use me as an example. let's say for whatever reason, I was assigned a case of extreme severity, perhaps even slightly political in nature. And because of this political nature, I went into court in Sacramento Superior Court with an affidavit and my hero sheet, and I submitted all that stuff, but I didn't put anything exculpatory in there at all. And as a matter of fact, additionally, I put some shit in there that I knew to be factually incorrect.
Perjury.
And then this comes out. Perjury. And then a judge in a superior court says what she just said.
Oh, I think a judge in a superior court would say,
hello?
You signed this under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
You raised your right hand and swore that this was true. Hello, 118 PC charge.
Yeah, hello. Can you say, someone, can you take this officer over to mail booking right now, please?
Mm-hmm.
That's on the state level. You and I feel assured in a similar situation as I just delineated, that would be the result.
100%.
Especially if a judge came out in some kind of a public venue and issued a 4-page opinion about what I'd done in her court.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely.
And then
is there any question that you would be arrested and charged with perjury?
None.
Any question?
None.
And
today?
Hang on.
Today?
And,
oh my
hang on.
God.
What would happen to every single one of your cases?
Oh, they'd look at any defense.
Every single one of your cases.
They would dig with the biggest shovel imaginable.
Yes, they would. And what would they do to all those cases with all those search warrants that you did?
Can you say, bye-bye.
Overturned.
Bye-bye. So
conviction overturned.
Anybody that I put in prison, not just jail, prison, and I know for a fact I have a couple that are still in prison. Like, here, open the door. Here's the key. Goodbye. See ya.
Mm-hmm. Conviction overturned.
Yeah, and then as that door is opened, I get pushed inside and the door closes behind me.
Yep.
That's what would happen, which is why people are so pissed off at a sense of most people are not stupid. They know that this would happen in the real world, but the biggest question is, why isn't it happening now?
And paint this into the context of that was the fight. Helped form the basis of the Russia collusion.
Everything, the fruit of the poisonous tree,
and they couldn't get him. They couldn't get him on that, and now they're impeaching him. Folks, these are linked.
Stephanopoulos, Manafort, Flynn,
linked.
All of these people would not be in the jackpot they are now were it not for the dirty dossier and the application by the FBI to the FISA court. That would not have occurred.
So if they were that desperate to get him on the Russian collusion thing, and they couldn't fucking do it, so now they impeach him, and now maybe we're not going to send it to the Senate just yet because we need to make sure that we hedge our bets over here, whatever the reason is. Folks, how does this, and I think it does. I think to the reasonable person, I think this stinks. I think that there are people that hate Trump so much, they're so much leftist, they don't give a shit. Bam, by any means necessary, they are going to remove the president of the United States. 19 minutes after he was inaugurated, there were people talking about let the impeachment begins. They have been planning this literally since the day he took his oath of office. And now they've done it. And I think a lot of Americans see the bullshit, and I think this is going to hurt. I think this is going to hurt the Democrats. Look, let me ask you a question, BZ, and I know the answer to this because I know the kind of man you are.
We got a break.
Okay, let me ask one question.
Sure.
I know your answer, but I think it's important for our listeners to hear.
Okay.
If President Donald J. Trump had truly bribed Ukraine, or if he had truly said, you better throw Biden's son in prison in Ukraine and indict him, or I'm not helping you with a fucking thing. Which, by the way, I think somebody actually did something like that. Oh, yeah, that was the Obama administration.
Yeah, right.
If he was out there and he was taking bribes and he was doing all these things, would you be defending him?
I would have some serious reservations. And then for a fact that you'd have people on the GOP side going, no, that's enough.
Yeah,
we've had it.
So if he truly was bribed, and he was committing treason against the United States, and he was bribing another foreign leader, or he was accepting or receiving bribes, would you agree with impeaching him and convicting him?
Well, show me the evidence. If you show me the evidence,
if there was evidence, and he truly did it, would you favor impeaching him?
Then I'd have to. I'm not going to make an unequivocal yes, but I'd say I'm going to have to take that into consideration, and it's not impossible.
Okay, see, so for me, if somebody showed me physical evidence, a tape where him saying something,
you mean
video evidence,
like we have on Biden,
right? Something like, would you? I'm telling you right now, if the president of the United States, regardless of any party, engaged in that level criminal behavior that rose to treason, that rose to a high crime or a misdemeanor in that sense of the word, I would support impeachment. I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican.
But there isn't.
And I'm not saying there is. I'm just throwing it out there to show how fair the Republican side can actually be, or the conservative side could be. If that evidence existed for any president, and it was, there's the evidence, there's him saying it or doing it or whatever, yeah, I would support impeachment, regardless of who it is. And I think you would too. You were in law enforcement for years.
A bunch of time.
Right? And just as a sense of fairness, the evidence is there. Nobody's above the law, even the President of the United States. Correct?
That would be correct.
But that's not the case here.
No, it isn't. And that's been the clarion call of the Republicans since this began.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break.
Thank you for entertaining that.
We're a little overdue. We're going to be right back after this.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
For 50 years, I've seen the American people blinded by corrupt politicians, a lapdog media, and deceptive Islam. The one thing the elites fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through Spreaker, iTunes, and SoundCloud, through SHR Media and the Western Free Radio Network, for half a century of experienced perspective on political and social issues, weekly on The Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender, ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
New show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And we're back. It's the final couple of minutes. Right here on the SHR Media Network. I'm Sackheads BZ. That's Sackheads CLINT. And we are the Sackheads Against Tyranny. We are, in fact, a real chat show. Talking about the impeachment. Got about 21 minutes before the end of the show. Again, 2 hours flies by quick like a bunny. But we know for a fact that the Democrats have been talking impeachment for quite some time, including this dude. Way back in, 2017. Imagine that.
Congressman, are you concerned that impeachment talk may actually help the president's reelection?
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line, 100%.
Out of all of this.
Yep. They know they can't beat him in 2020.
No. So, with the polls, with Green, with the impeachment, now you've indicated that the newest ploy by Pelosi may be to just hold on to this impeachment. It's my football, and I'm keeping it, and I'm not going to hand it over to the Senate. And then we heard a cut indicating that Mitch McConnell said, well, wait a minute, if it was good enough for 1999, why don't we just decide that, like 1999, maybe we don't have to do this at all, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
although they did it in 1999.
They did it, but
they had the
actually
option.
Got a bipartisan vote to agree to do that.
Yes.
As a foundation before proceeding further.
Yes.
So McConnell just said, it could be 1999 all over again. So I know you're thinking, you're wondering, okay, where does this go? How does it go? Where does it go? I'm not sure anybody knows. But I actually have a caller, and I don't know who it is. So who are you, unidentified caller?
Yes, it is I, Dave Milner, the unpleasant blind guy. A good evening to both of you.
Good evening, sir.
Here's something weird, Dave. You want to hear something weird?
Well, I can make weird noises.
No farts, no cow sounds. Oh, cow sounds.
Okay. I mean, I can't even do my Wookiee imitation.
No.
But go ahead.
No cow sounds. I promise, no cow sounds. I can actually hear you.
No kidding.
Yeah, and folks, tell me if, especially on YouTube, are you hearing any echo? Because there should not be any echo on this whatsoever. This is the new phone number, 575-208, and then 4481. Almost forgot the number myself. So, Dave, what's up?
Well, man, I've got to tell you, I know everybody's running around with their hair on fire about this impeachment stuff. And I got to say, BZ, you have done yeoman's work covering this stuff.
Yeoman!
You really have.
Yeoman!
And that's right, yes. Just like Yeoman ran on Star Trek. Well, I'm not going to mention the members, but pretty much everybody did. But here's the thing, man. I mean, it's for people like me. You know, I'm sitting here going, okay, yeah, all right, historically, I understand the importance of it, blah blah blah. But it's all crap, and I've known it's all crap forever. Okay, and that's why I'm shell shocked with it, and maybe that's why Pelosi is holding on to it, is because people are shell shocked with all this impeachment stuff. They know it's garbage. They know it doesn't have anywhere to go. And plus which, I think she thinks she could possibly use it as a political bargaining chip in negotiations. But I have a real story that I want to share with you and Clint. I think you guys are going to love. But sorry, it doesn't have anything to do with impeachment. Okay? Oh. Yeah, I know you're terribly disappointed.
It's about a fraud.
No. This actually came out of the Daily Mail. I've been checking up on Bobo and seeing what he's doing over there in the UK now that he's got the reins of power. And I came across this in what one assumes is their front page. I love this. All right, Daddy was poorly. Brave boy, age 3, all right, climbed onto his Paw Patrol toy truck and trundled a quarter of a mile down a busy A road. That's about a 2-lane highway, guys, in search of help when his epileptic father suffered a seizure. So this 3-year-old kid, I'm going to put the link in your chat. He obviously has the horsepower to realize if he's going to go on the highway, he's got to have a vehicle. So he gets on this little Paw Patrol toy truck and heads out there to help his old man. Now, fellas, how effing cool is that?
That's pretty cool. Did he have a proper license to drive said Paw Patrol vehicle on the roadway?
Yeah, because I'd stub him for that.
Is my first question. My second question is, was the vehicle properly equipped to be operated lawfully upon the roadway?
Was it properly registered?
Did it have lighting? Did it have proper lighting
was
devices?
It smogged? Did he have the proper pressure in his tires?
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Jeremy Corbyn had been elected on the 12th, all of those questions would have come into play.
and rightly so, damn it, Dave.
and if the poor kid had been in California, well, he'd be in jail now.
Oh, yeah. Especially if there was no registration on that thing.
Oh, yeah, but I wanted...
Registration for a Paw Patrol vehicle in California, by the way, I think is $637.
I went up to about $720.
Okay, I didn't. I have
which is reasonable.
Figures.
That's pretty damn reasonable.
Right, 3-year-olds have that.
Come on, listen, they need to pay their due. We need to start them early, paying taxes.
It's worse than that, though. It's worse than that. It's not just a Paw Patrol truck; it's a Paw Patrol fire engine. So you're talking about
there are OSHA restrictions on that. We need to run that sucker through OSHA to make sure that it's got the right pressure.
But Dewey, if it has a forward-facing red light, it's technically exempt.
Well,
while the red light's illuminated.
Right,
so we'd have to keep the red light illuminated all the time.
So it'd have to be at least one red lit lamp forward.
Correct.
And yeah, well, listen, and the OSHA requirements, does he have the correct oxygen packs on board? How about the coats, the boots, etc.? Are they all ascribed to OSHA? Are they in OSHA compliance? Major factors. Thanks for that, Dave. Appreciate it.
Well, and he's driving alone, so you have to wonder about safety concerns. Should there not be a co-driver on there, another firefighter?
Listen,
like that,
if I saw that vehicle driving by itself alone, operating code 3, I'd have to pull it over because you don't operate a fire apparatus code 3 with just one person aboard.
Well, now hang on a second.
Doesn't happen.
There you are.
Does the child have the proper class license to operate that vehicle? Are we talking about a ladder truck?
Gross vehicle weight rating of that vehicle.
What kind of rig are we talking about here?
2 axles? Are we talking double axles?
I believe we are talking about a ladder truck. Whether it's a double axle, I don't know. Now you guys can look at the pictures on on the link, and you can find out. But I wanted to do that and kind of leave you with this story too, because after tomorrow's EDL radio show, we're doing our Christmas special. I may be just too bloody exhausted to come in here, BZ, and holler at you. And I just want to say to you and to all the listeners out there, and to Clint and to Sean, wherever he is, you guys have a safe and joyful Christmas and a blessed 2020. There will be Unpleasant Blind Guy shows, new to you, new to everybody, at the Unpleasant Blind Guy page at Spreaker.com through SHR Media. And we will return on January the 9th with new shows ready to rip 2020 a new one.
I say to you, Mele Kalikimaka.
And a Haka Hapa Hilihau.
You know what that is. You're Hawaiian. Mele Kalikimaka.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
It is.
And I said a Happy New Year.
That's right. And don't forget, folks,
y'all too.
There's Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah. Do you have your Festivus poll?
Right. And is it lighted appropriately?
Yes.
It's a good question. Thanks, Dave.
It was so cold outside, I thought my pole was going to snap off. But all right.
Hey, did you have somebody stick their tongue to it to see if it'd stick to it?
Yeah, if it's that cold.
My neighbor wasn't home, sadly. All right. Well, anyway, guys.
Damn it, Jim.
Have a great rest of the show.
Take care.
Righty, thanks, sir. Hey,
so I have
in chat, by the way, was Alaskan put in here the story. Like you said, Gabbard says she's not going to run for re-election in Congress in 2020. So here's a story from Politico. Hawaiian Representative Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat White House contender, announced early Friday she's not going to seek re-election to Congress, declaring that she's fully committed to my offer to serve as president.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
All right. And then I found an update on Spy versus Spy. But
what'd you find?
I'm not going to go. Do you want to go there?
No. I just want to know the tally. Who won?
Okay.
White Spy or Black Spy? Who had the most wins?
Here's something in Reddit. In the Mad Magazine Spy versus Spy series, who wins more often, White Spy or Black Spy? It seems like White is a little bit more victorious, but I have my suspicions that it's probably even. The only spy in the series with a consistent 100% win record is the Gray Spy.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Gray Spy.
So other than that, they don't have an answer.
So we have a Christmas tradition here at SHR.
We do. Are you going to do that?
It's something that's carried real briefly, because I know we're getting close towards the end of time. Those of you that are just joining us. So I have a Christmas tradition in my home that I teach my kids. There's a Christmas story that I tell my kids every year for Christmas, and we share it here on SHR. It's a story that we should all, I would imagine, we're all familiar with. I'm sure most of our listeners are familiar with this story. But it's not like The Night Before Christmas or anything like that. It is a true American Christmas story.
Cool. Let's do it.
Particularly on Christmas night in 1776, George Washington crossed the Delaware and engaged the Hessian forces in the Battle of Trenton. It was a victory on the American side. The generals were General George Washington, obviously, Nathaniel Greene, and John Sullivan. Johann Rall was the commander on the Hessian side. And this was a time in our history where the revolution was kind of stalling. A lot of volunteer service was getting ready to expire. The Continental Army had been beaten, wasn't in good shape. The spirits were down, and General Washington understood that in order to save the United States, in order to save the cause, the Americans needed a victory. They needed some rallying event to be able to get enlistments back up and be able to push the cause. Otherwise, all hope was lost. And General Washington had this idea to cross the Delaware River on Christmas night, believing that the Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey would be, not expecting an attack really in the wee hours of the December 26th. And he had planned on crossing Delaware, which had frozen over. So he got a bunch of boats together and so forth. And his troops crossed the Delaware in the dead of night. I think the only casualties on the American side, I believe, were 2, and both died from exposure during the crossing in March.
Oh God, that'd be terrible.
Victory or death was the code word for that night, and the American forces crossed the Delaware River, and in the wee hours of December 26th, the Battle of Trenton took place. 22 Hessians were killed, 83 were wounded. Between 800 and 900 were captured. 2 dead amount on the American side, again from exposure, not from gunfire. 5 were wounded, and it was a huge victory, a huge moral victory for the American cause. Really brought life back to the American Revolution. It was George Washington's plan, and just the reason I say it's a true American Christmas story is because it really saved the revolution, and this was done on Christmas night. So it's a story that I actually sit down and read to my kids so that they understand. I mean, I read them traditional Christmas stories, and they understand that Christmas is about the birth of Christ. But I always have this component in.
Well, see, that's a tradition.
In as well, it is.
You have a tradition, and that's a good thing to carry.
And we have that here at SHR also, where we kind of just remind our listeners of the sacrifices and really what General George Washington did to save the cause of the American Revolution on Christmas night in 1776. So just something else to be mindful of as we go into the Christmas holiday.
I think that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. Do you guys have any other traditions that you follow?
We do on Thanksgiving. So on Christmas, yeah, a couple. On Thanksgiving, we actually read. I read to the family George Washington's Thanksgiving Day Proclamation,
nice.
as a reminder of Thanksgiving isn't about pilgrims and turkeys. Right, that was the first Thanksgiving, but in terms of a national holiday, General George Washington, President Washington, delineated that day as a national day of thanksgiving and prayer, to be thankful for the blessings that have been cast upon our nation and so forth. So I remind them, hey, this is what Thanksgiving is actually about. It's not about turkey and pilgrims and Indians. It is about togetherness, but here's really what Thanksgiving in the American sense of the word is for. It's for to be a national day of thanksgiving to God for what we have. In terms of, there's other Christmas, traditions that my family has, in terms like Portuguese sweetbread on Christmas morning, just with that tradition.
Do you have a recipe?
From Hawaii. I do, and it's my.
Do you make it? Are you the guy that makes it?
I'm not. But I have it. My mom makes it. My mom also makes vingadores pork, which is like a Portuguese pickled pork on Christmas morning.
Oh,
that's kind of like the traditional
2 questions
breakfast.
Then.
Yeah.
Number 1, what kind of a Christmas present opening family are you? I had people in my neighborhood that would open up Christmas Eve.
Nope.
Or people that open up Christmas Day.
How the fuck can you open Christmas Eve when Santa doesn't even come till Christmas Day?
My friend 2 doors down always opened their presents Christmas Eve.
They were Russian
spies. I never got that.
Had to have been Russian spies.
I'm with you.
No respectable American would
right.
do that.
Do you not have a respect for protocol?
Right. No, we are one present Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
One present Christmas Eve.
To make you salivate overnight for the whatever
parents' choice.
Coming. Parents' choice. Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah, because otherwise what are they going to do?
Yeah. So you don't give the crescendo on Christmas Day.
Absolutely.
Oh, or on Christmas Eve.
No. You're getting like your ornament.
Yeah.
You're getting like a pair of pajamas.
Yeah. You're getting your lump of coal.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Christmas morning is when it's
rocks and rolls.
Yeah, because there's magic, right? You go to bed Christmas Eve and Santa Claus is coming, and oh my gosh, we get to open all our presents Christmas morning, and so that's
okay. So just by saying what you said, though, that indicates that you are a 2 Christmas family, right? Because that's what we used to do as kids. As kids, we used to get up early in the morning and all through like the prior week. Mm-hmm. Because the tree was set up. This is back when tinsel stuff was lead.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
No,
kidding.
I know you're
I'm
not
kidding.
I know you're not kidding.
And all the icicles were made of lead in little boxes that were long, were very heavy. It was before that fluffy stuff. And if you were a kid, you went under there and you tried to covertly shake the box to try to figure out, what's in here? What is this?
Oh, yeah.
In here. And then you'd get up, obviously, on Christmas Day, you got up before your parents, and you'd creep around a little bit, and then the parents would get up, and we would have, Dad would cook mush, what he called mush. It's oatmeal. So we had to grimace through our oatmeal in order to get to the presents. Then we'd finish
smart
that.
Man.
Yeah, we'd finish that. Then I'd go around to the rest of the kids in the neighborhood. What'd you get? I got this. What'd you get? What'd you get? I got this. I got this. Then the cool thing was, in the afternoon, then we'd rally everybody, throw them in the 1958 Oldsmobile, and we'd drive downtown to 25, 26, 27th Street. And then we'd have Christmas with Grandpa and Grandma. So as kids, dude, we got 2 Christmases. It was rocking. Used to love that. Oh my God, that was so great. So you guys do 2 Christmases?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes, right? If we're going to a grandparent's house, or if they're coming over and bring more gifts.
Not always then.
Yeah, no, not always.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not always.
So you don't always go to the grandparents' house, or the grandparents don't always come to your house.
Correct.
Just kind of catch as catch can. Okay.
Correct.
All right, but when I was a kid, this was so great. There were always 2 Christmases. Ooh. It was so cool. Okay, I think we're done.
We're done.
To everybody, we're not going to be here Christmas Day.
Nor will we be here New Year's Day.
We're not going to be here New Year's Day, which means that we're not going to see you or hear you until January. Now, I'm going to be back.
Next decade.
That's right. We're going to be back in 2020.
We'll be here next decade.
Of a new decade.
Yeah, we're not even going to see you this decade anymore.
No.
I forget this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The decade, gone.
Yep.
This year, gone.
Yep.
So thanks for being here. Thanks for staying with us for we've been on 1.5 years now, almost 2 years.
As Shat?
Yeah.
As Shat heads?
Oh, yeah, we are. I represent that.
We
Shathead BZ and Shathead CLINT.
The Lollipop Guild. The Lollipop Guild.
You sound just like them. Look, to our listeners, I do want to say Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a very Happy New Year. Many, many blessings to you and your family. Look, the holidays can be tough for some people. The holidays can be a great time for some people. And we are here for you. And wish you the very best. And see you next year.
And with that, same thing. I got my Santa hat on. I got my Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
I got my Freedom soap from Clint.
Freedom soap. I figured
Freedom soap.
Needed to wash the filth off.
Oh, yeah. Give me your Freedom soap face. So thanks for being here in 2019 as we wrap up the Sackheads Against Tyranny show. We'll see you the first Wednesday of January 2020.
Technically the second Wednesday of January.
Okay.
The first Wednesday of January is the first.
Is the New Year's, right?
So we'll see you the second Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you. Good point. God bless. Take care, folks.